In one day, by virtue of a single poster cranked out on a mimeograph machine, the free zone had been transformed from a loose group of refugees into potential voters. The same afternoon the flyers went up, Larry Underwood and Leo Rockway walked west on Arapaho Street towards Harold Lauder's house. If Larry put his hands in his pockets, Leo did the same. Larry kicked a can, Leo kicked a stone, and Larry started to whistle. Leo joined him. For Pete's sake, Larry thought, I'm falling in love with this kid. At the house Frannie had described, Harold Lauder, I presume. My God, is he going to let me have it with that thing? Don't think I know you, friend. Harold's sudden politician's grin was contagious, and Larry, despite the initial shock, found himself grinning back. No, you don't, but I'm acquainted with you. I followed you across the country from Maine, your signs and candy wrappers. Well, I'll be gone to hell. Come on in with your boy and we'll have a jaw, as my dad was fond of saying. In fact, Leo refused to go inside with Larry and Harold. He didn't want to, he said. He was missing his Nadine mom, he said. It's all right. Kids are funny, sometimes. Well, that one sure is. But I guess he's got it right. He's been through a lot. I'll pass on the candy bars. I'm off the sweets, trying to lose weight. But we've got to have some wine. This is a special occasion. Have a seat on that green chair. There's some good wine glasses in the basement, I think. He's just a kid. Younger than me, thought Larry, looking around the living room. If he's 18, I'll eat candles on his next birthday cake. Larry noticed a loose stone on the hearth, looking as if it had come out and then been put back, carelessly. Larry was about to fit the stone back into place when he saw there was a book down in the hole, lightly powdered with rock dust. What? Feeling ashamed, like he'd been intentionally prying, he replaced the rock just as Harold's footfalls began to ascend the basement steps. Was the book Harold's? Or did it belong to the previous owner? Upon Harold's return, they cracked open Larry's bottle of Bordeaux. Once they were both pleasantly squiffed. The big meeting on the 18th. How come you didn't get on that committee, Harold? I would have thought a guy like you would have been a natural. Well, I'm awfully young. Maybe the powers that be wanted someone with more experience. But who knows what lies in the future? Like they say, every dog has its day. It was only after he'd rejoined Leo outside it occurred to Larry. Harold's was the only house in Boulder where the blinds and curtains were drawn. Unless you were talking about houses of the dead, of course. So nobody can see in, I guess. And so he can do secret things. Like maybe pray to the dark man. Do you really think so, Leo? He's not like us. I think there might be worms inside him, making him smile. Big, white worms eating his brains like maggots. Stu interrupted Frannie's washing with lovemaking. It hadn't been going well, anyway. Hard as Fran tried, it was impossible without a scrub board, and there were none to be found in Boulder. Afterwards, they lingered underneath the building's overhang talking. Dick wants off the committee. He says until we get a real doctor, he's too busy with the sick. Just today, he saved a guy who had a gangrenous leg. Dick had to take it off at the knee. That's awful. And what? It means we need more for the committee? Ralph's gung-ho for this Larry Underwood guy. And from what you say, he struck you as being pretty handy. He did. And I met his lady, Lucy Swan, in town earlier. She seems sweet. You gonna go ask him to join? I want to. I need to find out what he thought of Harold before asking him along for the ride. What is it about Harold? I lied to him once, you know. The day the three of us met. July 4th. I said, I didn't want you. I think he still holds that against me. I keep reminding myself that he's scared and lonely, and probably feeling rejected now, since he's not on the ad hoc committee. That was one of Nick's unilateral decisions. No one trusts Harold, is the truth. Not with that smile. And Agonquit, he was the most insufferable kid. Then, After the flu, he seemed to change, become more of a man. Then he changed again, all at once. He started to smile all the time, and you couldn't really talk to him anymore. The way people get when they convert to religion or read... Read what? Frannie? Something that changes their life, like Das Kapital or Mein Kampf. Maybe just intercepted love letters? Of course, there's no way to tell if a book had been read. And even if there were a way, there would be no way to tell if that person had been Harold Lauder. And yet, Frannie sent Stu to Larry's, then dug out her diary from the back corner of her closet. The way people get when they convert to religion, or read something that changes their lives, like intercepted love letters. Heart beating wildly, Frannie began turning through the diary's pages. There was no reason at all for her to be thinking of the man in black, with his coat hanger. But she was. Sentences jumped out at her, stutter clicks of the recent past that slapped her. Harold will object on principles, of course. Damn you, Harold. Grow up. Well, you know Harold, all those pompous words, an insecure little boy. Harold's breath would have driven a dragon away tonight. Harold stores up rebuffs like pirate treasure. My God, Fran, why did you ever say all those things about him? To what purpose? To feel superior? Then, on August 1st, 2 weeks ago, no entry last night, I was too happy. Have I ever been this happy? I don't think so. Stu and I are together. Frannie turned the page to read the rest of the entry. We made love twice, but the words barely caught her eye. Her glance dropped halfway down the page to something that froze her solid. A dark, smeary fingerprint, much larger than her thumb, and not grease or oil, but dried chocolate. Harold and his candy bars. For a moment, she was afraid to turn around, afraid she might see Harold grinning like the Cheshire Cat. Every dog has its day, Frannie. But that was crazy. Even if Harold had sneaked a glance at her diary, did it mean he was contemplating a secret vendetta against her or Stu or the others? Of course not. But an interior voice reminded her, Harold's changed. God damn it! He hasn't changed that much! Frannie flinched a little at the sound of her own voice in the empty room, then went downstairs to get supper started. She and Stu were eating early, as soon as Stu got back from Larry's, because of the meeting, which suddenly didn't seem as important as it had earlier. There's a boy, Leo Rockway, that came across from Maine with us, who kind of sees into people. When I went to visit Harold, Leo wouldn't go into Harold's house. Wouldn't even stay in his lawn. After meeting Harold, even though we had a good time, I sort of understood why Leo didn't want to. Yeah, that's Harold for you. Listen, Larry, I've come to ask you to serve on our little ad hoc committee. We need one more, and you come highly recommended. What do you say? Want to ride along? I thought nothing in the world would make me happier than to get here and dump my people and let somebody else take over for a change. Instead, I've been just about bored out of my head. Oh hell, I say yes. We're having a little powwow at my place tonight to talk over the big meeting on the 18th. Think you can come? Sure. Can I bring my gal, Lucy? Afraid not. Nor talk to her about it. We want to keep some of this stuff close for a while. I'm not much of cloak and dagger stuff, Stu. I agree with you, Larry. But this is wartime. That man we all dreamed about, none of us think he's gone away. Though most of the people here may not be thinking about him. I bet my bottom dollar he's thinking about us. You think that lunatic's after us? That's a nice thought to have just before dinner. Larry, I'm not sure of anything. But Mother Abigail says it won't be over, one way or the other, until he's got us, or we've got him. Point taken. We'll talk about it and keep our mouths shut. From the notes taken by Recording Secretary Francis Goldsmith. In attendance, Stu Redmond, Francis Goldsmith, Nick Andros, Glenn Bateman, Ralph Bretner, Susan Stern, and Larry Underwood, replacing Dick Ellis. First order of business, voting 7-0 that Ralph should post Dick Ellis's flyer warning against food poisoning. If you eat, you should read this. Up next, forming and formalizing a burial committee to take care of the thousands of corpses throughout the city. Motion carried again, 7-0. Then Nick Andros was recognized, and he related, through Ralph, a discussion he'd had with Mother Abigail earlier. He explained how she believes that all of the survivors are part of a chess game between God and Satan, and that Satan's chief agent in this game is the adversary, Randall Flagg. Also, that she believes she is God's chief agent, and that she wants, whenever the committee's deliberations touch on the Dark Man or the struggle, to be informed and consulted. In this vein, Nick introduced a series of motions. The committee should not discuss the religious and/or supernatural implications of the adversary during meetings, but that we treat him as a real threat. The main, secret business of the committee be how to deal with the adversary, aka Randall Flagg. Mother Abigail to be kept informed of all business transacted by the committee. Motions passed, 7-0. Then Nick suggested we send 3 volunteers to join the Dark Man's people. The purpose being to gain intelligence about the goings-on in Vegas. I'll do it. I'll go. Well, that's honorable, Susan. The fact is, we don't know if the people we send will ever come back, or when, or in what shape. In the meantime, this committee has the not inconsiderable job of getting things up and running in Boulder. After some hot discussion, it was resolved, gloomily, that no one from the ad hoc committee will be eligible to volunteer for this reconnaissance. I just hate the idea of sending other people over there. Maybe to be crucified on a telephone pole. We may not like it, but we're the politicians here, and this is the life and death of everyone in Boulder. I never thought I'd be a politician. Join the club. Larry Underwood put forth potential emissary, Judge Ferris. He's the sharpest old guy I met, and for the record, he's only 70. Lively discussion followed, but it was decided that the advantages of sending the judge outweighed the disadvantages. Committee voted aye to asking Judge Ferris, 7-0. I went along with yours, Larry. Maybe you'll go along with my idea? Dana Juergens. She's got more guts than any woman I know. With almost no discussion, committee voted aye, 7-0. Nick went to make his suggestion, to be read by Ralph. Nick, you're crazy. You don't mean it. Just read it, Ralph. Well, it says here he wants to nominate Tom Collin. Uproar from the committee. But Nick argued the same point Larry had about the judge, that just as the adversary wouldn't expect us to send an old man to spy, nor would he expect a person with special needs. That if Tom were given a simple story and told he had to stick to it, Tom would, whatever torture might be inflicted upon him. It wouldn't come to that, would it? Nobody really believes it would come to. Nick has the floor, Frannie. Let him finish. Nick did, by explaining that Tom could be given a post-hypnotic suggestion before being sent out. To return after a certain amount of time, full moon, say. Nick had already tested hypnotizing Tom, with help from a gentleman named Stan Noggetny. It worked like gangbusters. Originally, Nick had the idea because he thought Tom, himself, practiced a kind of self-hypnosis whenever Tom vanished within himself to make sense of something. Nick's last point was that by putting Tom into deep hypnosis upon his return from Vegas, he would have almost perfect recall of everything he saw. Sounds like that old movie, The Manchurian Candidate, to me. Before we voted on Tom, I had my say. Do we really want to take that sweet, foggy boy and turn him into a human U-2 plane? What do we do if they kill him, Nick? If they kill any of the people we send? Breed up a new, improved version of Captain Trips? What Fran brings up affects me deeply. But we're doing all of this for Mother Abigail and her ideas. Also, I know this being, Flagg, is evil. If anyone works up a new strain of the superflu, it will be him to use on us, and I'd like to stop him while we still can. But we're putting our hand on the same switch as Flagg to stop him. Once it's over, even if we win, will we be able to let go of the switch? Let's let's go around the table. I'll vote aye. Aye. I don't like it much, either. But if Nick's going for it, aye. Nay. Aye. Nay. I think the idea stinks like a pay toilet. This is the kind of stuff you get when you're at the top, I guess. Aye. Motion's carried, 5 to... Wait. I'm changing my vote. If we really are dragging Tom into it, we better do it together. Me too, then. United front. Nixon stands firm, says I. Final vote is 7 to 0. And let the record show I love this woman, Frances Goldsmith. And on that note, I think we should adjourn. I second that emotion. Those in favor, raise your hand. Those opposed, prepare to have a warm can of beer dumped on your head. The vote to adjourn was carried, 7 to none. Coming to bed, Stu? Yeah, I was just... You were right, Frannie. It's a dirty business, sending out spies. The trouble is, Nick was right, too. In a case like this, what do? Vote your conscience and then get the best night's sleep you can, I guess. I love you, Fran. She almost said something then. Not about Tom Cullen. She made her peace with that. But Harold's smudged chocolate thumbprint was still on her mind. Every dog has its day, Fran. In the end, Fran didn't mention it. If there was a problem, it was her problem. She would just have to wait, watch, and see if anything happened. It was a long time before she slept. In the early hours of the morning, Mother Abigail was praying. Show me my sin, Lord. I know I missed something you wanted me to see. I can't sleep. I can't take a crap. I don't feel you, Lord. How have I offended thee? She listened for a small, still voice in her heart, but all was silent and dark there. My God, please, my...
Not God, oh woman. Me. I'm coming for you, Mother. We'll run you like dogs run deer. I am all the things you think I am, but more. I'm the magic man, the man who speaks for the latter age. Your own people know me best, Mother. They call me John the Conqueror.
Go! Leave me in the name of the Lord God Almighty! She was afraid in her soul, afraid for her soul.
Your God has no power over me, Mother. His vessel is weak.
No! No! Not true! My strength is the strength of 10! I shall mount up the wings as eagles! This was the terror at Noon Day. The terror that flieth at midnight.
Who brought the water from the rock when we were thirsty? I did. Who saved us when we did faint? I did.
It opened its mouth to swallow her. Its breath was that of a living abattoir.
Oh, fall down and praise my name. I am the bringer of the water in the desert. Praise my name. I am the good and faithful servant who brings the water in the desert. And my name is also the name of my master.
My name. Praise my name, praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise him, ye creatures here below. Her Bible had fallen to the floor. There was a dim light in the window. Who brought water from the rock when they were thirsty? Oh, my Lord. Was that it? Was that why the scales had covered her eyes and made her blind? Because she'd been prideful? Bitter tears began to roll down her cheeks as she climbed slowly and painfully to her arthritic feet. She turned to look out the window and knew what she had to do. Thy will be done. An hour later, Abigail was walking slowly west on Mapleton Avenue, toward the wooded tangles and narrow-throated defiles beyond town, leaving Boulder behind her.